Good morning. It is Thursday morning, June 18th. If you have been paying attention and following our devotionals with any regularity, you will know that last week Danielle did her devotional on the Beatitudes. I followed it up the next day with one of the particular Beatitudes. Blessed are the meek. And as Danielle and I went through our week, we both realized that God was actually really calling us to go deeper in the Beatitudes. And so she did her devotional, Blessed are the poor in spirit, yesterday. Today, I am doing Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. So I kind of want to go through and read this whole passage in Matthew again. And then we'll talk about what it is, the whole mourning thing. Seeing the crowds, he went up on the mountain, and when he sat down, his disciples came to him. And he opened his mouth and he taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be satisfied. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall receive mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God. Blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven, for they persecuted the prophets who were before you. There's a lot to unpack there. And today, those who mourn, in the study note in my Bible, it says, recognizing one sin should lead to mourning and longing for God's forgiveness and healing. Yeah, totally. But what else is it to mourn? In his book, The Beatitudes, Simon Tugwell says, Blessed are those who mourn is paradoxically a more necessary message than rejoice in the Lord always. Because there can be no true rejoicing until we have stopped running away from mourning. Michael H. Crosby says, we will never experience the angel of comfort until we can enter into the mourning. The admission of what is deepest within us can be done only with an angel of comfort. This angel comes to us in the appearance of a total stranger or an absolute friend, somebody who comes in and consoles you when you are at your deepest point of mourning. Robert A. Gulich says, mourning cannot be limited exclusively to expressing sorrow for one's sin or grief surrounding death. Rather, those who mourn has more comprehensive sense of Isaiah 61 verses 2 and 3, an inclusive grief that refers to the disenfranchised, contrite, and bereaved. It is an expression of the intense sense of loss, helplessness, and despair. Mourning. Dietrich Bonhoeffer, in his book Discipleship, says, the disciples bear the suffering laid on them only by the power of him who bears all sufferings. On the cross, as bearers of suffering, they stand in communion with the crucified. They stand as strangers in the power of him who was so alien to the world that it crucified him. This is their comfort, or rather, he is their comfort, their comforter. This alien community is comforted by the cross. In this beatitude, according to Richard Rohr and John Buxer Feister, Jesus praises those who can enter into solidarity with the pain of the world and try not to extract themselves from it. That's the one that really stuck out to me. Blessed are those who mourn, the ones who can enter into the suffering of the world and not try to extract themselves from it. Unless you've been under a rock, 2020 has been a crazy period of mourning. We went from a year that was full of promise and wide open to adventure and exploration, and like the start of a brand new decade. It is almost like New Year's really meant something this year. We could start over. And then COVID hit. And everybody got sad. We couldn't escape that mourning. It was everywhere around us. And then all people let their mourning turn into anger. And they removed themselves from it. Then civil rights, the death of George Floyd. And we see the largest civil rights movement in world history happen. And people are refusing to remove themselves from the mourning of this moment. In 2 Corinthians, blessed be the God and the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of mercies and God of all comfort, who comforts us in all of our affliction, so that we may be able to comfort those who are in any affliction, with the comfort of which we ourselves are comforted by God. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. So we need to take the comfort that we receive from God and share that with everybody who is around us that is mourning. We need to enter into that sorrow with them, and we need to love them. Blessings, my friends.